You might already realize that going on blind dates or performing at open mic events contributes to your overall stress. But what you might not know is that maybe some of the activities that are triggering your anxiety aren't as obvious. Even a generally fun activity can make you anxious if it's just not something you enjoy doing. Hi, I'm Stephanie Phillips Markstein, and I help health conscious people optimize their physical and emotional well-being so that they can show up in the world as the best and most confident version of themselves. In this episode, we are going to discuss 8 surprising things that you do every day that might actually be triggering your anxiety without your knowing it. So anxiety can be triggered if you are involved in seemingly enjoyable activities that you're just not wired for. For example, you might have a hard time going to a concert because of the loudness and the large crowds, even though, obviously many people love to see their favorite artists live. We each have to figure out what we find enjoyable and not force ourselves into having fun in ways that we really don't enjoy. And as usual, my dogs, they love to photobomb me or sound bomb me. But just because other people like it, we're all wired differently. So if you love listening to music, but you're not comfortable attending a concert, try having a dance party at home with a couple of close friends instead. Or you can always pick up an instrument and try to learn some of your favorite songs. Some people might find that actually more stressful, but for someone who's in their head a lot, anything that they can do to help them pay more attention to the physical world can really help. Here are some situations that can be making your anxiety worse, according to experts. Number 1, having a Netflix marathon. If you're having an especially anxious day, you might want nothing more than, to go home and curl up on your couch with your, episode after episode of your favorite show. And it is difficult, to stay active these days and with work demands and with other stressors. But it's important to note that not giving your body an outlet, an active outlet can contribute to your anxiety. So while there's no need to give up on, the occasional TV marathon, try to incorporate other stress relief activities into your routine as well. Going to a gym is always a good one. Going to the zoo or a local animal shelter, a pet shop. Being around animals is proven to lower your anxiety and stress, unless you are me doing a video and your dog's barking in the other room. Number 2, venting to your partner before bed. It can be so helpful to catch your partner up on your day before the two of you drift off to sleep. And, it feels like it's something that you want to do, but do your best to save more serious conversations for the next morning, because talking about heavy topics before bedtime can contribute to your anxiety in ways that you don't even know. Sometimes when we think about these events before bed, it leaves us feeling restless, and then we miss out on having a good night's sleep. In fact, falling asleep after focusing your mind on something difficult can even lead to nightmares. So if you really can't wait until the next day to unload what you're thinking or feeling, try using a journal instead of venting out loud. Journaling can be therapeutic because it helps us get our thoughts on paper so that we can look them over and process them. Number 3, catching up on current events. I'm guilty of this, especially in the evening. I watch MSNBC. Part of being an informed citizen means staying up to date on what's happening in the world, but something as seemingly benign as reading about, new scientific studies or doing research on presidential candidates, again, guilty, can have a significant negative effect on your anxiety. So while you probably can't, you can't and you shouldn't avoid current events altogether, as much as you can, be conscious of when and how often you're engaging with subjects that stress you out. So instead of checking in, regularly throughout the day, for example, set aside maybe your lunch break to read or to watch an update on the news. And then be conscious about unplugging from this anxiety-inducing topic for a while, especially before bed. Number 4, going to a party. So this is funny because I often feel anxious about parties. Going to a friend's house to catch up with people you love and eating yummy food and listening to good music, that has to be fun, right? But for some people, it actually can be a major anxiety trigger. Even if you don't realize that you have social anxiety, your body might. So when you struggle with anxiety, your amygdala, which is the lizard brain, which is our fight or flight, the fight or flight guy, it gets hijacked. And so your body's natural defenses are employed. Your brain and your body try to keep you safe by raising your unconscious physical defenses, that's stress inducing. So instead of just skipping the event, use your body's reaction to calm you down. And one of the strategies is to actually engage your muscles in your sense of touch. So rub your hands together for like 30 seconds as if you were, getting warm by the fire. And then notice that alive feeling in your hands and tell yourself that you're safe. So in every episode, I like to offer a valuable resource that will help you be the healthiest and most confident you. And to that end, I have created a free guide to answer all of your questions about the ketogenic diet, known as keto for short. And it's called Keto for Beginners. It's a free PDF. It encompasses FAQs, 3 exercises to help trim your waist, and 2 keto-friendly recipes. I've also given you a list of helpful resources that that you can use, and a bonus circuit as well for exercise. So if you've been wanting to try the ketogenic diet but you don't know where to start and you're confused by the details, I've made it easy. Just click on the link below and pick up my free Keto for Beginners. Number 5. Shallow breathing. So something as innocent as sitting and breathing can actually contribute to your anxiety, surprisingly. Many of us tend to breathe in a very shallow way, in and out through the chest. And while this might not be a problem, when you're calm, when you're feeling totally calm, as soon as you begin to worry about something, your breath can start to constrict. And so this combination of anxiety and the bad breathing can actually exacerbate the anxiety. So you want to try to implement diaphragmatic breathing into a daily routine. And this breath focuses on expanding and contracting the abdomen in order to breathe through the diaphragm. So you're taking a deeper breath, it's also known as belly breathing, and you're expanding lung capacity. Number 6, journaling. So we talked about this before. You might swear by writing in a daily journal to help you manage your anxiety. I know I don't have a lot of anxiety, but I do use a journal. And while this can certainly be a useful tool, if you're substituting it for venting to an actual person, but not at night, guys, it can actually make your anxiety worse. So when we don't talk about the things that are bothering us, our thoughts can become overwhelming and powerful. And we might start to believe our thoughts even when there's absolutely no evidence that they are true. So this doesn't mean that you have to abandon your journal. In fact, journaling has a definite place, but just make sure that you're getting help from a therapist or a family friend or a family member or even a hotline. Talking about our experiences and feelings take the power out of what we create in our minds. That's self-talk. Number 7, doing chores. Who would think that? Checking off, item after item on your to-do list can seem super satisfying and stress relieving, but trying to finish every goal you've set for the day, how you check them off on your list, can actually contribute to your anxiety, especially if you're doing each task just for the sake of getting it done. There is a Zen practice called Samu, where tedious tasks are all done mindfully and with a heart of generosity. This way, even in the most mundane tasks can feel, fulfilling. If you're cleaning your bathroom, for example, do your best not to fly through the cleaning process as quickly and as efficiently as you possible. Instead, pay attention to the way the paper towel moves across the mirror. Remember, wax on, wax off. As you wipe it down, and notice the way it feels in your hand, the way the cleaning solution dries on the mirror as it disappears, and even maybe the fresh scent that it leaves behind. Use all of your senses. And the last one is meditating, which again, surprising, but chances are, if you've done any reading about ways to reduce anxiety, you've come across meditation as a solution pretty much every time. And as a meditation teacher, I teach that. And while the practice can certainly soothe the mind, for some people it can actually make anxiety worse. And I have to admit that. So the thought of meditation for someone with a very busy brain can trigger self-doubt about their ability to achieve that Zen state. And this is very common in particular with the perfectionist, the perfectionist personality trait, someone who wants to get it right the first time. If you have general anxiety issues, you might also notice this effect. So if you think this might be the case for you, try swapping out meditation for other stress relief practices like we talked about before, spending time outdoors or even drawing to see if that helps. If you are trying to find ways to manage your anxiety, do your best to notice any connections between your activities and your mental health. Just because something is fun or good for de-stressing for someone else, doesn't mean that it will be that way for you. I hope this has been helpful, and if so, I would ask that you share it with your friends and family and maybe give it a like as well. Please also subscribe to my YouTube channel, and it's Stephanie Phillips Markstein, and tune in on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern on my Facebook business page for Saturdays with Stephanie. In the meantime, don't forget to pick up your free Keto for Beginners at the link below and let me know how you're doing with it. Sorry, my dog. Connect with me on Messenger or Facebook at Stephanie Phillips Markstein, and I will see you back here next week. Thanks for watching.